pradhare. Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Ram Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sadashi Srimad Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulsi Maharani Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we're reading from chapter 18. Before we begin, we'll say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So chapter 18 is called The Perfection of Renunciation. And today we're reading text 7. So I'll recite the verse and you can all repeat after me. Niyatasya tu sannyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha. Someone would like to recite? Niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha niyatasya tu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasa parikirtitaha. Thank you. Let's do the word for word then. Niyatasya, prescribed. To, but. Sannyasa, renunciation. Karmanaha, of activities. Na, never. Upapadyate, is deserved. Mohat, by illusion. Tasya, of them. Parityaga, renunciation. Tamasa, in the mode of ignorance. Parikirtitaha, is declared. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord, and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness. So before I begin to speak, I'd like to say some prayers to our spiritual masters from whom we have received this transcendental knowledge. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before beginning to speak, I'd like to seek the blessings of all the devotees assembled, so I can may be able to say something which may be pleasing to Lord Krishna and beneficial for all of us. Vanchakalpadrubhascha kripasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So I'll read the verse once again. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So in this verse, Krishna is speaking about renunciation. And in chapter 6, the first verse of chapter 6, Krishna explains what renunciation is. He says that one who performs his prescribed duties, anashrita karma phalam, karyam karma karotiya, sasanyasi cha yogi cha, nanyaragnirna chakriya. That one who performs his duties, but is not attached to the results of his duties, is actually situated in the renounced order of the life. And he is a true yogi, not he who performs no duty or lights no fire. So Krishna is explaining that real renunciation is not to give up everything. It doesn't mean inaction, but real renunciation is to renounce the results of our activities. And if we shouldn't be attached to the results of our activities, then what should we do with our activities, with the results? Prabhupada explains here in the first sentence of the purport. He says, work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord, and offering the food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. So real renunciation means to give up the desire to enjoy our results, but we should offer the results to Krishna. Just like here Prabhupada is giving the example of cooking. It's not that we should give up cooking, but we should not cook for ourselves, for our own enjoyment. Rather, we should cook thinking that I'm preparing this food for offering to Krishna, for his pleasure. And then we cook with this meditation, thinking about what Krishna likes. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati taraham bhaktipahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. That one who offers me with love and devotion a leaf of flower, fruit, or water, then I accept it. So Krishna, he is happy to accept what we offer to him with love. And also he says that he accepts items in the mode of goodness, like fruits, vegetables, not meat. So we should offer these things to Krishna and offer them with love. And that is the perfection of renunciation as explained by this verse. So Krishna is very practical. In Bhagavad Gita, he gives us practical instructions for our life that we can apply in our life. In chapter 3, Krishna says that niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jayoha karmana sharira yatra yate na prasidyata karmana. That without, that Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should perform your duty, because without working, no one can even maintain his physical body. So Krishna, he's saying that, yeah, you should work because you need to maintain your body after all. But there is a science of working, and that is we should work for Krishna, giving the results to Krishna. And so Prabhupada explains that there are two types of duties. We have conditional duties and constitutional duties. Because from the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that our real identity is the soul. We're the soul within the body. So then we should understand that we also have duties in relation to the soul. That our only duty is not only just to maintain the body, but our real duty is to fulfill the needs of the soul. That's our real needs. So then Prabhupada explains that there are two types of duties. Conditional refers to the duties in relation to the body. That the duties that we have while we are conditioned within this material world, in this material body. And then there are constitutional duties, which are our duties in relation to our soul. So which do you think is more important? Constitutional duties or conditional duties? You can say. What is conditional duties? Nobody's listening? I just explained. Duties related to our body, yeah. And constitutional duties? Duties related to our soul. Yeah. So which is more important? Yeah. Yeah, so we shouldn't neglect either, but if we have to choose between one or the other, then we should give more importance to our constitutional duties, because that's our real duties in relation to our real identity as the soul. So for example, the ideal way is that both should go together, that we perform our conditional duties, our duties in relation to our body, to maintaining our body, for the pleasure of Krishna. So that, yeah, we work, we earn our money, we live our life, but we also offer the results to Krishna. Like Prabhupada is explaining here, when we purchase the food, we purchase it thinking that I'm going to prepare this food and offer it to Krishna. And then also, we should also understand that actually our real duty is in relation to the soul, which means our real duties are in relation to Krishna. Because fulfilling the interests of the soul means to connect the soul to Krishna, connect ourselves to Krishna, because that is our real source of happiness. So when we do our duties for the soul, then that means we are getting closer to Krishna. And the process of getting closer to Krishna is by devotional service. So we should perform our duties for our body just as much as we need to, and we should try to save as much time as we can for performing devotional service to Krishna, because that's our real duty. And how do we perform this devotional service? It starts in the beginning with hearing, Shravanam. So there's a nice verse in the Bhagavatam that describes this process of hearing. How we don't need to change our position. We just remain in our position, whatever it is. We continue performing our prescribed duties, but we hear. We hear from the devotees. And this is what Krishna is explaining here in this verse, that prescribed duties should not be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So Krishna is saying that one shouldn't give up our duties out of illusion. So that means to come out of illusion, we need to acquire knowledge. And what is the process of acquiring knowledge? Krishna explains also in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Krishna says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So in this verse, Krishna is saying that two things are important. First of all, we need to be submissive. We shouldn't think that I know everything, that I don't need help from anyone. We should be submissive and approach the spiritual master with humility and inquire from him that what is my duty and what is the best way that I can live my life, what is the goal of life and how to attain it. These kind of inquiries we should pose. First of all, we should find a bona fide spiritual master. A bona fide spiritual master is one who is coming in line from Krishna. He has received the knowledge as it is from Krishna, coming down through disciplic succession from guru to disciple, and he has understood this knowledge and he's applying it in his own life. So such a person, Krishna says, we should inquire from those who have seen the truth. So such a person can explain to us the same knowledge. And then also Krishna is saying that we should render service. By rendering service, then we can understand Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, Bhaktya mama vijanati. One can understand me only by devotional service. So by rendering service to Krishna, by rendering service to the spiritual master, then we can become enlightened with knowledge. Then we can understand what our duty is, how to behave in this world, how we can attain Krishna. And so, there's a nice verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam I would just like to read for you. It goes there. Gyane prayasam udapasa namanta eva jivanti sanu kalitamba vadiya varta sthane sita shruti gatanta nuvan manobi te ye prayaso jita jito pyasita strilokyam. I'll just read it for you. The translation is nice. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with their body, words, and mind, offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So in this verse, this is Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. So he's saying that, you don't need to change your position. You remain in your social position. But what should you do? You should, with your body, mind, and words, offer all respects to descriptions of the personality of Godhead and dedicate your life to hearing about Krishna. So how can we dedicate our life to hearing? How can we develop a taste for hearing about Krishna? This is also explained in the Bhagavatam. It says, Shushushro Shradhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syanmad Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevinat. That by rendering service to the devotees of the Lord, great service is done, and by such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So this process is very simple. We just need to try to associate with the devotees, try to serve them and hear from them. And just by hearing, then it says here that we'll be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though he's otherwise unconquerable by anyone. And when one is able to conquer the Lord, then he attains everything, because the Lord is the master of everything. The Acharyas explain very nicely how this is so in purport here. Because in the purport, he explains how the words tanuvan mano, the body, mind, and words, how the devotee is able to conquer Krishna by his body, mind, and words. It says here, they can, thus becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness, they can touch Krishna's lotus feet with their hands, they can call him to come with their words, and they can attain his direct audience within the mind simply by thinking about him. So by their body, they can touch Krishna. By their words, they can call Krishna to come. And with their mind, simply by thinking about Krishna, they can remember Krishna. And in this way they can associate with Krishna. And they also explain in another way how the devotee is actually able to conquer Krishna's body, mind, and words. That Lord Krishna's body is conquered because he always remains by the side of his pure devotees. Lord Krishna's words are conquered because he always chants the glories of his devotees. And Lord Krishna's mind is conquered because he always thinks about his loving devotees. So Krishna, we always hear that we should always glorify Krishna, but here is saying that Krishna is always glorifying his devotees. So isn't that so wonderful? In the Bhagavatam, there are many examples of Krishna glorifying his devotees. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sathaive bhajamiham. As one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. So as for the devotee who is always engaged in glorifying Krishna, Krishna also, he wants to glorify his devotee. And an example of this is a nice example is Srila Prabhupada. Because Lord Chaitanya, he started this Sankirtan movement, and he predicted that this Sankirtan movement will spread all over the world. So Lord Chaitanya was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could have spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world by himself, but he wanted to glorify his devotee, Srila Prabhupada. So he empowered Srila Prabhupada to spread this Sankirtan movement all over the world just to glorify him. And he helped him by giving him all resources, arranging for him to meet the right people at the right time, and all of this just to glorify Srila Prabhupada. Another example is also from the Bhagavatam. We can see how when Bhishma Dev was on the bed of arrows, then after the battle of Kurukshetra, then Yudhisthira was very depressed because he was thinking that so many people have been killed just because of me, to make me the king. So many people have died. So he was feeling so depressed. And Krishna offered some words to console him, but Yudhisthira, he wasn't pacified. So it seemed apparently like Krishna couldn't satisfy Yudhisthira. So then he took Yudhisthira and all of the Pandavas to Bhishma Dev. And then Bhishma Dev, by the words of Bhishma Dev, Yudhisthira became pacified. So in this way, Krishna enacted this pastime to glorify his devotee Bhishma Dev. That even though Krishna apparently couldn't pacify Yudhisthira, but he gave knowledge to Bhishma Dev what words to speak to pacify Yudhisthira. So in this way, Krishna acts in many ways to glorify his devotees. And here it says that Lord Krishna's mind is conquered because he always thinks about his loving devotees. So in the Bhagavad Gita we hear that manmana bhav madbhakta, we should always think about Krishna. But here we see that Krishna always thinks about his devotees. For the devotee who's always thinking about Krishna, Krishna is always thinking about him. In the Bhagavatam there's a nice verse. It says, Sadhunam hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, maranyate na jananti, naham tebhyo managapi. That the devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in the hearts of my devotees. That the devotees, they don't know anything but me, and I don't know anything but my devotees. This verse was spoken by Lord Krishna to Durvasa Muni when Durvasa Muni came to ask him for to get free from the Sudarshana Chakra, because Durvasa Muni had offended Krishna's devotee, Maharaj Ambarish, and so he actually tried to kill him. But Krishna, who always protects his devotees, he sent his Sudarshan Chakra to protect Maharaj Ambarish, and the Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni finally, after running all over the universe, asking different people to save him, they all couldn't. And then he came to Vishnu, finally. And then Vishnu, he was saying that, no, even I cannot save you from this. first you need to go and ask forgiveness for my devotees. From, what's his name? Ambarish Maharaj, who's my devotee. So then he quoted this verse to explain the position of his devotees, that the devotees are always in my heart, and I know nothing but my devotees, and they know nothing but me, to explain to Durvasa Muni the position of his devotees. So this is the wonderful position of a devotee of the Lord. And so we should be inspired by this to become a devotee of the Lord, because that is the best position. Imagine if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is your best friend, and He's always thinking of your welfare, how to take care of you. Most people, they don't think that. They think that their first duty is to take care of themselves. But actually, what can we do to help ourselves? We don't know the future, and we don't have much power. So we can try to do something for ourselves. But actually, the best way to help ourselves is to connect ourselves to Krishna and to become Krishna's devotee and place ourselves under Krishna's care, because Krishna can actually give us the best care, because He knows everything. He knows what is best for us, and He knows what can really help us, and He's actually able to supply whatever we need at the right time. He knows what's the right time, what's the right amount. So that's the best way we can help ourselves, is to just fully dedicate ourselves to the shelter of Krishna. If we always think about how to please Krishna instead of how to please ourselves, then Krishna will always think about how to please His devotees. And Krishna is so kind. His name is, one of His names is Varadaraj. He is the best of the givers of benedictions. And He's always eager to satisfy the desires of His devotees. Even if His devotees, even though His devotees, they never ask Krishna for anything, because their whole meditation is just how to please Krishna. But still Krishna, He's in the heart of His devotees. And whatever desire they have, then Krishna fulfills that, even though they don't ask Him. And this is not only with advanced devotees, even with insignificant devotees like myself. I can say many times Krishna has fulfilled my desires, just even like insignificant desires. One example I can remember just happened recently, that it was on a Sunday. I had a desire to have a Mahaprasadam Paratha, but then I was thinking, like, no, there are so many guests. Why should I get a whole paratha? Let it be distributed equally to all the guests. So then I was like, yeah, whatever Krishna wants to give for feeding His servant, I should accept that. And then I just forgot about it. And then we always clean the temple on Sunday. So I was cleaning the temple here, I was mopping the floor. And just as I was mopping there in front of the pujari door, the pujari came out with a bag, a paper bag. She's like, here, take this, some Mahaprasadam. And I looked inside, and guess what was there? One whole paratha. So it's like, oh my God. Krishna is so kind to His devotees. He fulfills their desire. So, but we should never think of Krishna as our order supplier. And we should always try to please Krishna and have faith that Krishna, He knows what's best for us, so He will always give us whatever we need. But also I was thinking that if only I had desired pure devotional service, if I had desired Krishna, then Krishna might have also fulfilled that desire. So we should actually learn what to desire from Krishna, because Krishna always fulfills our desires. So if we desire to serve Krishna, if we desire Krishna's association of Krishna's devotees, pure devotional service to Krishna, then Krishna will also fulfill that desire. And those desires are actually desires that can give us eternal happiness and true happiness. Not like material things that they just like eating, if you get some palatable dish, you finish eating it in a few minutes. But if you awaken your relationship with Krishna, then that's eternal. Because we're eternal as souls, and Krishna is also eternal. So that relationship will exist eternally. And that relationship is also the source of the greatest happiness, because Krishna is the best person. He's the most kind, the most friendly, the most adventurous, the most joyful. And so if we develop a relationship with him, then Krishna is the best friend. And if we have a friendship with Krishna, then that is the greatest happiness. And also in this verse, which is talking about prescribed duties should never be renounced. So Krishna, he came in the form of Lord Chaitanya, and he taught by his own example how to follow these teachings which he spoke as Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So by reading the activities of Lord Chaitanya, the teachings which are so nicely described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we can get a perfect idea of how to become a devotee, how to live our life. For example, Lord Chaitanya says, he gives a nice analogy of how we can perform our prescribed duties and at the same time remember Krishna and dedicate our activities to Krishna. He says that there is just like a married lady, she has her husband, but she has she has an attachment for another man. So then she performs her duties very well at home, but she's always thinking of the other man, like how she can go and meet him. But she performs her duties so well that her husband will never think that she's attached to somebody else. So in the same way, we should perform our duties perfectly, but at the same time, we should always be thinking of Krishna, how we can attain Krishna, how can we get a chance to associate with Krishna, and in this way, we can advance in Krishna consciousness, even while engaged in so-called material activities. But these activities, they're just necessary for maintaining our body. And if we always keep our consciousness focused on Krishna, then we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And whenever we can, we always meditate on how to associate with Krishna whenever we can get a chance. And how do we associate with Krishna? By chanting his holy name, and by hearing about him, by associating with his devotees. These are all non-different from associating with Krishna, because Krishna is absolute, and he's non-different from his name, his form, his associates. So a nice example is, there are many nice examples from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that we can see. One is the example of Mukunda. He was a doctor, and he was doing his business as a doctor. But, one day he went to treat the king. So then he saw that the king was being fanned with a peacock feather, a peacock fan. And as soon as he saw the peacock feather, he remembered Krishna, and he fainted because of the ecstasy for Krishna. He was so much absorbed in Krishna. He immediately remembered Krishna, all his wonderful qualities and attributes, and he became overwhelmed with love for Krishna and fell unconscious on the ground. And then the servants of the king, they were like, oh my God, what's happening? They tried to get him up, and once he regained his consciousness, then they asked him, what happened? Why did you faint? And then he said, I have a disease of epilepsy. Sometimes I faint. So this is the way of the pure devotee. He may seem just like a doctor, just like an ordinary person, but he's always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And another example from the Chaitanya Charitamrita is Shivananda Sen. Shivananda Sen, he earned his livelihood, and he spent it on the journey of the devotees. Every year, he would take the devotees of Navadvip to Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra festival, where they could see Lord Jagannath, see Lord Chaitanya, and take part in the Rath Yatra festival. So every year he would arrange the journey from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri, and he would pay for all the devotees' expenses. With his own money, he would pay for their resting place, for their food, for the tolls along the journey, and for the boat fares, and whatever else was necessary. And Lord Chaitanya was very pleased with him. Also, and when Lord Chaitanya was touring South India, he met a Brahmana, Kurma Brahmana. I'm going to read a little bit, just from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's nice how Lord Chaitanya, then you can hear from the mouth of Lord Chaitanya what he said to the Kurma Brahmana. So this is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 7. So Lord Chaitanya came to the house of the Brahmana, and the Brahmana was very pleased. He began to glorify Lord Chaitanya. And then the Brahmana begged Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "My dear Lord, kindly show me favor and let me go with you. I can no longer tolerate the waves of misery caused by materialistic life." So the Brahmana, he wanted to give up his house and just go with Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was traveling all around India, going to different places. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home and chant the holy name of Krishna always. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land." So Lord Chaitanya said, "No, don't give up your home. You stay at home, chant Hare Krishna, study the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and try to give this knowledge to others." And he says, Lord Chaitanya says, "If you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we will again meet here, or rather, you will never lose my company." So Lord Chaitanya is saying that if we follow these instructions to always chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and try to preach this to others, then we will never be, our life at home will not obstruct our spiritual advancement. Rather, we will always, he says, "You will never lose my company," because Krishna is present in his holy name, in his teachings in the Bhagavad Gita, and he's none different from the pastimes in Bhagavatam. And also, if we're always speaking these glories to others, then we're always in association with Krishna. And wherever there is Krishna, there is no chance of being influenced by Maya. There's a nice verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, "Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakar, Yahan Krishna Taha Nahi Mayara Adhikar." Wherever there's the sun of Krishna, there's no chance of being influenced by the darkness of Maya. So in this way we can live our life always while performing our duties. We always remain absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And this way we can always remain in the association of Krishna, always remain absorbed in the thought of Krishna, and at the end we can go back to Krishna, to our eternal life. Krishna says, "Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya." Whatever state of mind you remember at the time of death, that's that you will attain. So if we're always thinking about Krishna throughout our life, naturally we will also remember Krishna at the time of death, and then we will attain Krishna also, and attain the eternal abode of Krishna. So I think I'll stop here. Are there any questions or comments? Yeah.
The married woman who's always thinking of her lover, externally doing her household
Yeah, that's the perfection. It's explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also how Lord Chaitanya, as the example of the perfect devotee, he would do his duties automatically, like eating, sleeping, bathing. He would all do those all automatically, and his mind was always absorbed in Krishna. So yeah, that's the perfection. So it all starts by hearing. This, as this verse says, the most important thing is hearing. Actually, that verse I read, it was quoted by Ramananda Roy when he was when Lord Chaitanya was asking him, "What is the goal of life?" Then Ramananda Roy was saying different things. First, he was saying, like to perform your duties according to Varnashram, and then to advance in knowledge, and different things like this. But finally, Lord Chaitanya was always saying that there is something more than this, there's something better than this. So finally he said that, yeah, just to always absorb yourself in hearing about Krishna, that's the best, that's the goal of life. And Lord Chaitanya was happy with that. He said, yeah, to always hear about Krishna is the best way, because then by hearing about Krishna, then we can increase our attachment and love for Krishna. And then when we actually have love for Krishna, then it's possible to always think of him and be fully absorbed in him in all our activities. So the important thing is that we need to develop our love for Krishna to be able to always think about him. And that's done primarily by hearing from the devotees about Krishna, by hearing from the devotees who have love for Krishna. Anybody would like to add anything else? I thought a nice example was Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, we can see how much love he had for Krishna. He dedicated his whole life for pleasing Krishna by spreading his message with all his energy, even in his old age. And we're so fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada's purports in the books. So by associating with Prabhupada, by reading his books, then we can understand Srila Prabhupada's love for Krishna, and we can also get a chance to increase our love for Krishna by associating with Srila Prabhupada through reading his books, through hearing his classes, hearing his lectures. And of course, Srila Prabhupada also, by his great potency, he was able to instill love of Krishna in others. So we're fortunate also to have the association of many disciples and grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who by Srila Prabhupada's grace also had their awakened their love for Krishna. So we should try to associate with them, hearing from them. So I think I'll stop here. So there's going to be the arati in a few minutes. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Hare Krishna.
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि